Breaking on Denver 7 News at 6, Russia's revenge. New reaction overnight after missile strikes target a Ukrainian bridge, playground, and apartments in retaliation for a weekend blast.
Meanwhile, here at home, a father killed in a hit and run outside a Golden Bar.
He didn't deserve this.
This morning, we're learning more about the suspect in this horrific crime.
A new report finds our kids are struggling with mental health and suicidal thoughts.
And it's a natural fear of, like, if I bring it up, is it going to make it worse?
Why experts say you need to have that tough conversation.
And Russell Wilson is on the mend. New details about the damage to his throwing arm and whether he'll be ready to play against the Chargers next Monday. Boy, injuries have just plagued the team.
Maybe he can learn to be like Mahomes and throw with the lefty too.
I know, yeah.
He's got a full week.
That's
Right? I know.
Can you click with your other hand?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, so it shouldn't be too hard.
Well, let's put Lisa in. Yeah, awesome.
Watch, I'll do the whole first
Left-handed.
with left-handed
left hand.
clicker.
This is going to be impressive. Yeah.
Beautiful outside right now. Here it is odd though, I'll tell you that. At 6:01, you can see from this shot there a little hint of what's to come with that sunrise. Plenty of sunshine here early this morning. On our bus stop forecast, you're going to find 40s as you step out the door here early on. Clear skies, lots of sunshine, low to mid 70s by the time your kids get home later today. Denver right around 75 for a high. Upper 70s near Platteville, Keensburg, Fort Morgan, and Sterling, 50s and 60s for the mountains. So plenty of sunshine today, clear skies tonight. Look at tomorrow night though. So just about 36 hours from now, we're tracking a chance for a few showers. We'll take a closer look at this and what to expect through the work week coming up. I did it. I'm going back to the right hand now.
I always do the left-handed clicker.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Now do the right hand.
Well, that's go right. We have a good drive going on for most of us around town here this morning. I'm not seeing any significant problems really around town. This construction project over at 32nd and I-70 looks pretty normal. Same thing happening over at Harlan Street. And you can see over across most of Metro Denver, it looks pretty good. There was some leftover traffic a little bit around Pecos on the westbound side of I-70 as they're doing that last of the paving. That is obviously running late, so it is going to cause you an extra minute or two. One Quebec over 35th and one crash at 35th and Quebec south of I-70. I am not seeing significant delays in there right now, so probably not worth an alternate route right now south of I-70, but the rest of the drive times, as you can see around town, look fairly normal. It should be a little bit lighter than normal today with it being a federal holiday today.
Well, we have some breaking news from overseas this morning. Take a look at some of these images behind me. Russia has unleashed a series of missile attacks across Ukraine. In fact, at least 8 civilians were killed in these attacks in the capital of Kyiv. Just shelled out remains of cars on the streets. A security camera captured a missile hitting a pedestrian bridge. The city of Zaporizhia is still recovering from a missile strike yesterday that killed at least 13 people. Russian President Vladimir Putin says the strikes were in retaliation for what he called terrorist actions, including an attack on a key supply bridge between Russia and the annexed Crimean Peninsula.
2 young children are now without a father this morning after a driver slammed a truck into a crowd outside a bar early Sunday morning. Denver 7's Brandon Richard is back at that scene at the Rock Rest Lodge in Golden. And Brandon, we're learning more about the man who was behind the wheel of that pickup truck.
Yeah, that's right, Nicole. We are learning more, and I'll share the new details that we learned overnight here in just a moment. But first, I want to show you where this hit and run took place in the parking lot here in front of the bar. Now, Jeffco deputies say there was some sort of altercation between two groups, and they say at some point the suspect, Ruben Marquez, backed out a pickup truck and then plowed into a group of people who were just standing around in this parking lot, striking 8 of those people, and deputies say he then continued on down the road here. Now, we've learned that Marquez was actually on parole at the time of this. He now faces murder charges. That's on top of a long criminal history going back at least a decade here in Colorado, including 3 convictions for aggravated motor vehicle theft. Now, as we said, Jeffco deputies say 7 people were hurt, 1 person died. The person who died has been identified as Adrian Ponce by a woman who says that she is his sister-in-law. She described him as outgoing, caring, and loving. She says that he was actually visiting a haunted house before coming here to this bar.
My sister called me around 4 o'clock in the morning and said And I have a gut feeling something's wrong. He's not home. He should have been home. He told me he would be home at 1. I can't get a hold of him.
And there was another man inside the truck, the owner of that truck. He was also arrested and is being charged as an accessory. Now, neither of these men is listed in court records just yet for this crash, but we will let you know when they appear before judge. We're live in Golden this morning. Brandon Richard, Denver 7.
Wow, so sad. We're glad they caught him. Thank you, Richard.
Well, it's a question that we ask people every day. How are you? Simple enough. But have you taken a minute to think about how you're doing and be reflective on today, which is World Mental Health Day? If you're feeling you're having a crisis, there is help available. You can now call 988 for the Mental Health Lifeline. Counselors are available 24/7. If you're wondering about your mental health right now, bring it up at your annual physical.
When you talk to your physical provider, mention mental health concerns. And these are usually anxiety or depression, difficulties eating, sleeping, having flashback, recurrent thoughts, and just anxiety in general.
Dr. Annette Gava there said that people may feel ashamed to mention or admit their struggles, but sharing the information is crucial.
Yeah, we know that the pandemic led to more isolation and may have worsened depression for teenagers. The state's largest and latest kids count report, looking at our children's well-being, finds young people in Colorado are dying at higher rates from homicides, drug overdoses, and suicides. And when parents see these reports, of course, we know it is so scary. I spoke to addiction counselor Blake Fleek. He says that parents should not be afraid to ask their children if they're considering suicide.
It's important to ask that. It's important to know that you're not going to make it worse by doing that. Now, that doesn't mean you go into accusations or anything like that. You listen. You hear what they have to say.
It's also important to make your home a safe place by removing guns or pills that can be abused if you're worried about someone in the home.
If we can make it as hard as possible and give people enough time as possible to get from I'm having the thought to I'm going to take this action, that's the goal.
That seems to be an important message, that just having the thought isn't necessarily the end. It's there is hope.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And it's not even that uncommon for people to have these thoughts.
Yeah, it's not uncommon. About 40% of Colorado high school students surveyed in 2021 reported feeling so sad or hopeless. Over a 2-week period, they had stopped doing their usual activities. That was up from 24% in 2013. And the percentage of teens saying that they seriously have considered suicide went up from 14.5% in 2013 to about 17% last year. The state has made counseling available for free to young people. You can visit imattercolorado.org for more information on setting up those free sessions. And Health One has a new behavioral health and wellness center in Saddle Rock in Aurora. It offers intensive outpatient programs for kids from 9 to 17 years old.
Well, today is Indigenous Peoples Day in Colorado, so you might have noticed some schools or businesses, even individuals, making land acknowledgments. On CU Boulder's website, it says the university acknowledges it is located on the traditional territories and ancestral homelands of the Cheyenne, Arapaho, Ute, and many other Native American nations. Winter Park's website also says we recognize and honor these Native nations as the original stewards of these lands and waters where we recreate today.
Thinking about, after you've gained this knowledge, what impact you can have, how you can be an ambassador and an ally to Indigenous people.
Yep, some groups are giving land back and others are paying taxes to the Indigenous tribes. You can help by being an ambassador and ally to Indigenous people. Well, we are now a week away, still a week away, I should say, from the next Broncos game. The question is, will Russell Wilson play?
Yeah.
This was supposed to be the week to heal up.
I know, and we learned last week that Russell played Thursday's game with a partially torn lat muscle near his upper back and shoulder of his throwing arm. He went to LA on Friday to get some treatment. The normal recuperation for this kind of injury is about a month, but our Broncos insider Troy Rank is being told Wilson is expected to play in the game against the Chargers on Monday night in California. Yeah, and that's a game you can find right here on Denver 7. Broncos Chargers Monday Night Football on the 17th. Our pregame coverage starts at 5 p.m. that night. Kickoff will be just after 6, and then we'll have a complete
post-game report right afterwards. Lisa.
It is just about 6:10 and a really pretty start to the day. If your kids want to wear a t-shirt and shorts to school today, it's going to be warm enough for it. They might want a sweatshirt though this morning. We're going to be in the upper 40s to low 50s at the bus stop early on. Low 70s by the time they get home. Sunny skies today. A few building clouds tomorrow and a chance for a little bit of rain. We'll take a closer look at the timing of tomorrow's rain coming up.
Taking a look at the west side of town along 6th Avenue. It's moving along great coming in from West Denver and Lakewood. This is the eastbound side. No delays, about 10 minutes from I-70 all the way to I-25. You will have that merged a little bit tricky there at Federal and I-25, but otherwise a pretty smooth ride out there to the west side.
Well, it's supposed to detect when you're in a car crash, but a new iPhone feature is dialing up 911 in some pretty unusual places, what you can do to prevent a false alarm.
Yeah. And here come the corgis. The extra meaning this year behind this adorable dog parade.